Hey guys, just want to get on here and do a quick video recapping today and how I knew this big drop was going to come. Took puts for over 1,000% swings from last night. Knew that we were going to enter into this swing trade with very high potential of a drop due to CPI plus our technicals. Technicals is 100% based off of what I trade off of. Don't trade off of news at all. I just follow the chart and trade it from there, and it's been going pretty good for us so far. So we're just going to keep doing that. So this is the main chart for SPY. What I see is a little bit of a lower high, kind of overbought, but basically this is just the plain chart. We're going to be going into each individual chart now and looking at everything from there. So first off, coming right to a volume shelf right here, which will be hard resistance. It's kind of acting as our ceiling. We're looking to hit it, boom, and then come straight down. Not a lot of volume here. So this is where we were looking for a steep drop. We climbed up, we gapped up twice, and then we were looking for a quick pullback, whether it would be 1 to 3 days. It just happened to happen all today, but with no volume, we quickly dropped through today, so that was pretty exciting. Then secondly, we are now in the golden zone fib from the high and the low of the last trend. So drew the first point of my fib at the high, 431.73. The second point came from right on our bounce of our trend line that we had created in this triangle. Golden zone was right around 410 to 415, so we were looking for a rejection in this zone and a pullback. Also, we were in a gigantic rising wedge. Love this chart pattern. Super bearish chart pattern. Just kept climbing. It was getting tighter and tighter. Looking for a pullback in the pre-market. I think we ended up touching that top of that trend and then rejecting beautifully. So right there, we already have 3 confirmations that we're looking at. The more confirmations, the better. This is another one. We're overbought, so now we're up to 4 confirmations. RSI in the daily chart was at 77.83, so anything above 70 is overbought. Loving that. So now up to 4 confirmations. Now this is the 5th one that we're looking at. We have 2 big gaps. So gaps love to be filled. We have a gap right here in this 408 region. They fly through gaps as well. And then another one here from the 403. It's basically kind of the 401 range. So we were looking for both of these gaps to be filled. And then when we come down, I had my fibs set from the low of the recent local low to the high. Did end up changing them since we gapped up in the pre-market, but was expecting us to come around to the 400 to the 397 level and then look to take our profits there in that golden zone from our puts. So I was looking for a fib retracement into the current golden zone, which would bring us back to sub 400s. And so this morning, huge drop due to CPI. Ended up changing the fibs, so kept that fib there to that fib. If we look at the previous fib from the high of that trend to the low, we came immediately right to that 0.618 level. Fibs worked perfectly. We rejected right off that level, like really wicked right off that level, came right down into the golden zone. This was in pre-market. So to be in the golden zone in a fib in pre-market holding puts from the previous day, it was just a beautiful thing to see. So 0.5 fib was at 401.72, 0.618 fib was at 398.58. So we were looking for a price target into this range, and we opened up in the range. So couldn't have asked for a better trade. And then we ended up getting back into the 400s. With that, we just saw a little bit of a baby relief bounce. We had a fib on watch. If we had came up back into this golden fib, I would have shorted it again, looking for a big second reversal, but didn't even get close. Little baby fib. Got into the 400s, so really was looking at that. At this point, we were probably up like 500 to 600% on our puts. And once we hit under that 400, PT was hit, which is a price target for people that don't know what PT is. Under 400s, that was the original plan, to take puts and to go in the money. So at this point, we were now in the money. Contracts were 600 to 700% at this point being in the money. And then we ended up hitting the 0.618. The moment we hit 0.618, I move all my stops up pretty close. So not close enough to get stopped out immediately. Still got some breathing room to be in the play. These contracts don't expire until tomorrow, but definitely locking in profits. I mean, to have a stop loss your last stop loss is like at 200% profit is always a great thing to have. And at this point, I think we were like 600 to 700, so couldn't have asked for a better trade. Stop losses were just a little safety net at that point, but not really a necessity since you could sell at limit at any point. Taking a 500% win is amazing. And then usually you do start to see a little bit of bounces at that 0.618 level, kind of like how we did on the high. But with fear, everybody gets mass fear, and then when people start to sell off, we sell off crazy, and that's why puts go crazy. Ended up continuing down throughout the day. This is when we reached right around that 392 level. Huge drop, $22. I think we eventually ended up going and hitting that 23 flat, but huge drop. And so that's how we did on the day for that call out. Ended up taking puts. The average was around 75 from yesterday, as low as 58, but I had entry points a little bit above 75 as well. So my average came out to 75, and contract value ended up hitting $8.38. So $838 per contract for a win of 1,017%. That's an 11.17x ROI. So amazing to take that overnight. $23 drop. Reacted to that 0.618 perfectly and then dropped. Couldn't have asked for a better trade. And that is it for today. For tomorrow, what I have looking on the chart, we are oversold on the 4 hour. So we're a little oversold. RSI is at 6. We got dark red, dark red. PPI does come out tomorrow, so I'm definitely going to be cautious creating a strategy for tomorrow until I see what prints and how the market reacts. But for now, I have a fib line at the high of the pre-market to the low of the pre-market. So we could see a little bounce into the 403 to 406 range. If we do, I'm going to be looking to take puts heavy. 1 hour to 30-minute chart should be extremely overbought. Looking to play charts based off of those time frames. But we could have a little shoulder, head, and then the second shoulder, which could play out perfectly, playing based off the chart pattern. Downward trend, lower high, the fibs, overbought, MACD reversing, just as many confirmations as I can have, I want to have. So that's the outlook for tomorrow, and we'll see what we can do.